All right, chat, here we go. Card reviews. The first one is a 2-mana 1/3 Fae. It has Augment and Quick Attack. Now, Augment's actually pretty good, considering when you play Faes, you are playing freaking owls, dude. So we have this, right? I have always hated owl decks. And when you're playing a Fae deck with owls, with Mr. Gleaming Lantern, this can be a real pain in the butt. I actually think this is a pretty dang strong card. This looks kind of scary, how fast this ramps up. So this is basically 3 HP. It's a 2-mana card that doesn't die to 2 mana. You can't Mystic Shot this, all right? This is un-Mystic Shotable. Secondly, in the right deck, this will be like 4 or 5 attack very quickly, and it's non-stop attacking with Quick Attack and cannot be blocked. This is a solid card. This is a very aggressive card. It won't see play. It won't see play if Fae decks are not a thing. In a Fae deck, this card will see play. It dies the quietest? Not even necessarily. It depends. Most people are saying it was terrible. I don't think it's terrible at all in a Fae deck. And that's the only deck it's playable in. If you play a Fae deck, what are you doing? Okay, chat, what is the purpose of a Fae deck? It is to go wide really quickly. It is to flood the board, and it is to attack with 6 units every turn. Dies the quietest on the turn it's played. So does every 2-drop in the game almost, dude. I don't see the difference here. So does this. Does this not see play? No. So do many other drops. So does this. So does this. So does this. Like, I don't get your logic. Most things die to quietus. Does that mean they don't see play now? And funny enough, this one can actually not die to quietus if you have the right card in hand, if you play it a mana 3 or 4. So, I think this card is actually solid in that one archetype. And we've seen this before. Like, there is a deck that I would be willing to make. For example, if we're talking about Faes in general, all Faes are Bilgewater. You could theoretically play it with Freljord. Like, Fae plus Spirits Unleashed might not even be that bad of a deck, even in this meta. No, this card is solid. It is a solid card for a Fae deck. It's specifically for a Fae deck. If you're not running a Fae deck, this is pretty trash. It's a trash card, but for Fae, I disagree. I think this is playable. Because keep in mind, a lot of cards in Fae decks are generated. And not only that, not just Fae decks, but for example, what do we have here? Cards that will see play. You'll probably play Conchologist in the Fae deck. This card right here buffs it. You will probably play Bandle City Mayor in a Fae deck. This card generates. You'll definitely play Loping's Coloscope. So not only does this generates it, for example, whatever card this makes, and this is a Fae, by the way, this will generate it. Trinket Trade would generate it as well. Prank would do that. Like, in Fae decks, you generate a lot of cards. This is a Fae, so you play it, it generates a card. That, yeah, I think it's a decent card. And every owl in the game... Well, look at this. There's literally buff all Faes in your hand, make an owl. Make an owl, grant all Fae allies in hand 1/1. Like, this card will definitely... Like, in that deck archetype, that's a solid card. So yeah, overall, I gotta disagree. I think the card is solid in a Fae deck. Anything else, it's trash. All right, next card. Wow, 7 mana Shurima 0/7. Okay, I have +1/+0 for each ephemeral ally you've summoned this game. That's a big boy. Are Blades ephemeral? Because Blades never die, and that was one of the reasons I couldn't do They Who Endure. Wow, this might be one of the most broken cards. But it's not a summon effect, so this is a, what do you call it? This is an aura effect. Blades are not ephemeral. Yeah, but are they ephemeral? I know they obliterate, but the obliterate part doesn't matter. The only question is, are they ephemeral? They're not. Wait, where are the Blades? They're not. So Blades are not ephemeral. That's kind of a interesting concept to think about. Can it be a 10/7 on curve? Probably. Yeah, this is Sand Soldiers through and through. Everybody knows that. There's no question about it. What would you pair it with? Blade Dance almost certainly, because Blade Dance just generates so many ephemerals. You could theoretically maybe play Sharks and Shadow Owls, but I think Blade Dance is still better because Blade Dance interacts with Sand Soldiers so strongly. And second of all, you kind of need to protect this card. It's a very big investment. Having Deny is a good thing. Although you can have Deny from Shurima, so you don't necessarily need to go Ionia for that. Ionia's Lifesteal Dragons is pretty solid too, yes. They're adding rotation this patch. Wait, what? There's no Blade Dance? It doesn't matter that blades are not ephemeral. It matters that they summon ephemeral units because whenever you attack, you summon Sand Soldiers, right? That's the point. So no Aurelia. But are Blade Dance cards still there or is the entire package gone? Pretty okay finisher. I don't know if it's too expensive or not. It might not be. This might be good enough to play. Isn't this too slow? It's hard to say, dude. It's hard to say. I don't know. It might not be too slow. This is going to have very high values with an inherent Overwhelm. In a deck that runs like Denies, it might be good enough. Like, this will probably get stunned the turn it's played, but... And it always has power. Like, this is never going to be like a 3-7 by mana 7. Yeah, if you have the Landmark or if you have a 0, right? Silence? Okay, I guess you can silence it, but there's not that much silence in the meta. It's a decent card. I think there's a small chance it's brokenly strong, and that there's a small chance it's very underwhelming, which is why I put it right in the middle of a solid card. I like it. It's a good endgame finisher. All right. Yeah, solid. I put it right in the middle. Next card. Oh boy. Fast and slow. Okay. Deal 1 to a unit. Create a perilous pastry in hand. No, I know it's not fleeting. That's really cool. It not being fleeting. That's very interesting. Deal 1 to a unit. Create a perilous pastry in hand. If it was fast, the pastry, it would be a really good card. Actually, not necessarily. But maybe. Let me think. Pokestick is still better than this. This is not as good as Pokestick. Pokestick is significantly better. What if Poke gets rotated? And then you have to compete with the other one cost from Bandle City, which is also a sort of like group shot, right? Because Bandle City usually goes wide, group shot deals 2. The fact that this can go face is interesting, but again, Pokestick can also go face. Would you run this over 1 mana deal 2 if you have 4+ units? Not fleeting is huge for saving mana. Are we actually going to see a Victor meta? What does it cost? 2? 2 pinks for Ezreal, I guess. It's good for Minotaur. Make a Katarina deck. I don't know. I'm not sold on this card. It's okay. Swain? Pokestick is better. Seraphine likes it. I know Seraphine likes it, but the Seraphine Flay Bandle City? It's meh. Flow Activator. Expensive for what it does. 3 mana. Deal 1 and 1. Maybe. At slow speed plus fast speed. I'm really not sold. Like, it's not bad for flow activation, I guess. But again, Ionia Bandle City. Yeah, again, Seraphine Bandle City. I don't know. Seraphine Ezreal is Bandle City. Wait, which Seraphine Ezreal deck are we talking about? Is it? What's the main Seraphine Ezreal deck at the moment? I have not seen Seraphine Ezreal in a long time. It was. I mean, it was a couple of things. I've seen Ionia versions. I've seen Piltover Noxus. Yeah, wasn't it Noxus, mostly? Yeah, it was Noxus, right? Yeah. I don't remember it being Bilgewater. So not Bilgewater. I don't remember it being Bandle City. I've seen Bilgewater versions as well. Yeah, Bandle City. I don't remember that. People are saying that was the meta deck. I don't recall that. A lot of versions I see with Victor or Bandle. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to say this is underwhelming. But it can be used in some niche. Maybe. Like a 4 out of 10? I don't know. Alright, Seeker Keeper. 3 mana, 2/4. Epic. Not the worst stats if the effect is good. Shurima. When I'm summoned, create at the bottom of your deck 2 random level 2 champions that aren't in your hand. That is interesting. But how good is it? I mean, this is Predict, right? This is just for a Predict deck. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I like this card. I kind of like this. A few ideas. For example, number 1. 3 mana 2/4, in my opinion, is better than 3 mana 3/3 for anti-aggro. 2/4 blocks 2 units versus aggro. And that's very important to keep in mind. 4 HP is a pretty good threshold for 3 mana. Now, usually you want 3 mana 3/4, so it can block Misfortune on curve. But overall, it's not bad stats. Like, the stats can work if it has an okay effect. Now, there is a problem. There is a problem with this card, is that it goes to the bottom of the deck, obviously, so you have to predict afterwards to get it. Chat is saying Entreat can work with it. You are correct. You could play Entreat with this, but the problem is if you have Entreat and you don't have this one card, you're absolutely screwed. And Entreat is a dead card in your hand and it's just over. Golden Ambassador, I guess, yeah, but again, what if you don't find this card? Like, all of those are dead cards if you don't find this one. So I think the biggest argument for this is, first of all, in a predict deck, it's kind of cool. It can be game winning a few of the times. Secondly, it's kind of cool versus Maokai. Like, Maokai obliterating all your champions in your deck kind of sucks. A way to add cards to your deck that is actually adding value is not bad. I don't hate it. It's a cool concept. It's a pretty good Maokai counter as well. Like, you literally put in top-end cards a lot of the time. I like the card. I do. I think it's a pretty cool card. I think this could be a lot of fun. Watcher counter, to an extent. That's pretty cool. I like the stat line of it. I think 2/4 is solid. At the bottom of your deck, is there any way to punish that? No, not really. Bottom doesn't really matter too much. Feel the rush? Yeah, but like, again, like, pretty cool. I like this. Nab, you can't nab champions. Very cool. I like this card a lot. I'm gonna definitely try to build decks with it. I think it fits really well in the Zillion deck as well. It's slow.
Entreat wouldn't be dead because you can still run champions in a deck with this card. You just might not get one of the level 2 champs from the bottom of the deck.
Exactly, exactly. But then, do you really still play, like, why are you playing, like, you're playing Entreat, which means you're forcing yourself to play, what do you call it? Freljord. Playing Freljord just to play, nah, I don't like it. You rarely play Freljord with Shurima ever. I've not seen many Freljord Shurima decks. Rite of Calling, I guess, but again, you have to run champions then, right? So yeah, Rite of Calling could fit. I could see that. I could see that being good. All right, not bad. Not bad at all. Let's do the next one. All right, I'm going to say it already. This card looks really cool. It's epic. It's a 2/2 for 4. It better be good, bro, because I like the card art. I feel like they put too much budget in this card not to make it good. Augmented Clockling. Elusive. Play, predict, then draw 1, and reduce its cost by 1. That's really good. Wow. That is very solid. Zap Sprayfin on high alert. That's true. It does look like Zap Sprayfin. It's almost identical to Zap Sprayfin. So the only difference between the two, the only real strong difference, is this tutors a specific card some of the time, whereas that one lets you predict for a card. Now, something I want to point out, something we're still waiting for, is the following. 11 Shurima Predict cards. We have never been able to play Ekko outside of Shurima. Ever. Ever. Do you know why? Because if you don't add Shurima, Ekko never levels up. Ekko outside of Shurima is a meme. It is a wasted champion slot because he cannot level up without Shurima. You have to draw 4 to 6 cards to level him up. And that means you have to run 3 copies of this card as well. You can't level Ekko. You just can't. I had so many Ekko dreams. I had Ekko Hecarim dreams. You can't do it. Why? Because he does not level up outside of Shurima. Adding this one card literally increases the amount of predicts in PSZ by 50%, sorry. It's a 50% increase in the amount of predicts you have in PNZ. All of a sudden, we can actually start considering running a PNZ non-Shurima Ekko deck, which is a really big deal because it opens up opportunities. A lot of them. That's a very big deal. Yeah, Ekko Karma was a deck I wanted to build, and I couldn't build it. So, this is a big deal. And this might mean, we never know, we might find another Predict card in PNZ. It might happen. And this is a very good Predict card. It's not only a Predict card, it's a very good one. Elusive for 4 mana for essentially 3 mana plus draw. Draw is worth at least 1 mana. So this is a 2 mana 2/2 elusive by a lot of standards. But also you have to count Predict in that, like, it's a very good card. This card is solid. Even for like simple things like it blocks Nora. Like it's a good card, dude. So I think this card is I don't know if people are saying it's good or bad. I haven't looked at other streamers' reactions because the first time I see it, but I'm gonna say this is almost, it might be a meta-defining card. It might build some Ekko decks we have never seen before that are actually pretty strong. Because Ekko's card, here's the thing with Ekko's card. This card right here. Revive all allies that died this round in rally. Who really benefits from that? Kaisa? Maybe. NASA's really hard to make a deck like that. Renekton, again, kind of hard to make a deck like that. Jinx, definitely. Nobody else, really. There's no really good pair here to like, benefit from the revive into rally. So you're never playing that in Rek'Sai decks, obviously. These guys don't really benefit from that much. Yeah, I mean, maybe Jinx is pretty dang good with that, though. Like, you can't really build the Renekton deck easily with that. Kaisa, maybe. Like, there's no really good pairing. But when you leave Shurima, when you drop the Shurima restriction, all of a sudden, so many opportunities open up, dude. So many. Scion. Maybe even Ornn. Viego Revival is insane. Jarvan's interesting. Hecarim is really strong. Darius. I mean, like, there's so many strong units that love to get revived and get an attack token. There's so many of them. Elites, you could play elites for sure. Although you kind of miss Allegiance, which kind of sucks. LeBlanc, she can make copies. Maybe. Like, there's even OP cards, such as, what is it called? Look at this card, for example. Imagine you play it with Mimic, and you make a copy of it in hand. How sick is that? Like, Mimic with that card is kind of sick. Getting multiple rallies that revive your full board, guaranteed, is disgusting. Like, that's a disgusting card. So, yeah, I think there's some really strong combos that we might see. I'm not sure if we will see them or not, but giving Predict to PNZ, 50% increase in Predict cards in PNZ. One prediction card is not enough for Ekko. Listen, we already have 2. This is the 3rd one. Okay? This is the 3rd Predict card. I don't know if 3 is enough, but I'm saying it's way more than 2. 3 is way more than 2. Very, very interesting. And is this the last one? Last but not least, 2 mana 1/3. I hate the stat line, by the way. I have never been a fan of 2 mana 1/3 stat lines. I think they're trash. Flash Bomb Peddler. When you play a spell, plant 1 Flash Bomb randomly in the top 8 cards of the enemy deck. That's pretty good. That's not bad. I literally like the first card we had here. Brother, I didn't like this card because of the stat line, okay? I like the card because of the effect. The fact that it's a Fae, and that it has Augment and Quick Attack. That's very different. This is not a 1/3. This is literally a 4/3. Very quickly. That's not bad at all. I really try to make Flash Bomb work. Like, when I was playing Flash Bomb decks, I was literally playing 2 to 3 copies of Advanced Intel. 1 mana, plant 2 Flash Bomb traps. And it was a little bit hard to pull off. But it was 1 mana, deal 2 damage long term. And it worked well with Puffcat Peddler. But now you can play this with Flash Bomb Peddler to give even a 3rd bomb. Like, this, every one of these really cheap cards gets more value overall. I like it. So my idea behind running Flash Bomb decks is that every Flash Bomb card is of high value as long as they add Flash Bombs. Does that make sense? Like, Flash Bombs are really, really, really good value long term if you survive long enough for them to hit. 1 mana, deal 2. That's solid. Right? That's solid stats. 2 mana, 2/1, elusive, deal 2 is solid if it connects. I like the Flash Bomb archetype. The problem with the archetype itself was always flash bombs were very inconsistent, and often there were not enough of them. Now, they buffed flash bombs from top 10 to top 8, which was a good buff. I never went back to the flash bomb archetype myself, but it's a cool idea. And then we have cards that actually work really well with traps. We have, for example, let's have a look here. Cards you can consider making decks around. Proximity Puff Cap. That's not bad. 2 mana deal 3 is not horrible. What else do we have here? I wonder how, if you would play... I mean, do you really go for this Bandle City? Maybe you do. Maybe you make a Bandle City version of the deck. Because you're already in PNZ. You can make a really cool Teemo deck as well. I don't know if you play Teemo or not. Like, there's multiple win conditions you can go for. Teemo just makes sense if you're playing Caitlyn. I'd have to look back at the old decks, because I built a pure Flash Bomb deck before. It's really fun to play. Ekko Caitlyn Flash Bombs. Actually? Not bad. Not a bad idea. I could see that being worthwhile. Ekko Caitlyn Flash Bombs. That's not horrible. I like that. I like that idea. Maybe. I could try building that. Remind me of that when the expansion hits. I mean, it probably is Seraphine Caitlyn. Yeah, I think that's better. Seraphine's really strong with this. Because you're going to be playing a lot of cheap spells to really proc Flash Bombs if you're playing Flash Bombs. Noxus for Flux and stuff? Yeah. I agree with you. I think Noxus could be a really good fit. And you put in Seraphine just because she gives you massive value for a lot of the things you want to do. Yeah, very nice, man. Very, very nice. Very cool card. I don't like the stats, but 3 HP for 2 mana to be... Because usually when I see cards like this, I think to myself, what is this going to block? How is this going to trade? It doesn't kill 3/2s. It doesn't block Fearsomes. It's really weak. But the effect itself long-term is very high. Like, this can be 2 mana, 1/3, deal 5 damage. If it stays alive for a few turns. Looks just like you. I don't know about that, but okay. Alright, that's the new cards for today. Have you ever noticed that every time Grappler monologues, he tips his beanie? That's not true. Okay, listen, Tams, you're exaggerating, bro. I'm not tipping the beanie, okay? Stop it.